What do you think, hon? Roguishly handsome or handsomely roguish? Hon, you look as good as the day we met.
Can you get that?
Go away.
Weather should hold up. Oh my god!
Oh God!
What is the perfect settlement? This is a question I've thought to myself many times. I've had settlements that have produced money, mutefruit, water, but never quite one that was perfect.
God damn it.
You see, if there's one thing Fallout 4 settlement maintenance does, it's suck the life out of me. Except for those times I would deliberately abuse my settlers and develop elaborate torture devices that would subject essential NPCs to painful near-infinite death loops. You see, as the main character in Fallout 4, you possess the otherworldly ability to spontaneously materialize items at will. Our man, Globnobbler, is a godly being of creation. Todd granted us the ability to create, but just as the Globnobbler gives, so too can the Globnobbler taketh away. On the first day we rescue Preston and his gang. Just as we their hope, so we are their little man in power armor with a minigun. On the second day, we shepherd the people to the lands of sanctuary, the light to guide them home. With a wave of the hand, Globblebobble removes these homes that for some reason everyone is super keen to live in, despite them looking like they were hit directly by the bombs when they fell. To do this, I have downloaded a mod called Sanctuary Hills Cleanup, which allows me to clear extra clutter that our Lord Todd deemed illegal when he originally personally coded the game from within the dark recesses of his parents' basement. On the third day, Blobgobbler works with Sturgis to provide the people with food, water, beds, moldy sleeping bags under shelter. The people will want for nothing, for they have everything to keep them happy, but also so that I can now work on my artistic expression distraction-free. Obviously, I'd established earlier that the perfect settlement must have entertainment value. So, for example, this building right here is Preston's house, where he has a moldy old sleeping bag on the floor waiting for him. He needs to rest. It's been a long day. The only problem is right in front of the door is a laser tripwire that once he steps through it, it will release the caged Deathclaw right outside. The Deathclaw may not be pleased, but having witnessed the sickness, I certainly am. There is joy to be had in the misery felt by Preston, who simply desires rest at the end of a long day working the mutefruit plantation. It was just a prank, bro. Of course, getting the Alguai meat to make this cage is another story which we will not go into at this time. Sadly, removing all the homes and sanctuaries absolutely destroyed the NPC's pathing, showcased by how Sturgis will now stand here hammering at absolutely nothing. So I'll have to establish a second colony. But you can't move Preston around until you've done a quest for him. So I head over to 10 Pines Bluff, where I'm followed by a pack of feral dogs. Deliberately accidentally punch the quest-giving NPC here while she is down, which kills her and fails the quest. Oops, that is absolutely not good. I wrap up business here, fail the quest which unlocks Preston for some reason, establish a second settlement at Starlight Drive In by boxing these mutated ground rats, and send everyone across except Mama Murphy, whose chem addictions I effortlessly cure by overpowering her senses with my dank yet sultry testosterone pheromone aroma.
I told you no. Are you gonna answer to me?
Easy there, kid.
Cured of her ailments, she'll now wander the wasteland forever. I establish items for their most immediate needs and then work on developing this concrete rectangular prism, which is going to end up probably being Sturgis's bedroom. I call this the Gauntlet because it has... What? What? It seems like Sturgis has stepped on a randomly placed mine, and for some reason Preston is suffering from like bodily damage too. You know, I just don't know. I call this the Gauntlet because in order for Sturgis to get to his assigned bed, when it's Betty Boos, he must walk over these pressure plates which will cook him with electricity. He'll then get up to do the next part of the Gauntlet, but instead of walking over the pressure plate, he'll simply teleport over, completely bypassing the 3 flamethrower contraptions I've set up to cook him. But he's not wily enough to avoid the rotating blades. He's gotten to sleep successfully this time, but soon he'll have to wake up. He has woken up. He's determined to get out of here without any issues, and it seems like fire isn't really an issue for him. Saw blades, on the other hand. The thing about settlement defenses in Fallout 4 is that players are only going to use automatic turrets, because the rest of the traps are so much more complicated in their applications. But if I, a not very smart man, can use them to cook settlers, then I can only imagine what some of you can do. For example, this is my little office building. I have 2 chairs, a bed, a table, and settlers just keep walking into this personal space, my sacred space. So I've set up a trapdoor for them to fall down into the basement. If I turn on this switch, the lights come alive and I get to see we've snagged Preston. a Sturgis, a good old 180 pounder. Very good. If I press this switch, the basement becomes a microwave and I get to show these filthy settlers what it means to be powerful. But the thing is, for every cool microwave, you get this immensely disappointing pressure plate spike trap. The epitome of what even is the point. As you can imagine, I felt like a genius when I placed 6 of these between the entrance and where Preston is assigned to fall asleep. But I'm not even sure they did any damage to him whatsoever. So I compensated for this little disappointment by building a metal tube mottled with holes to let the rain in, and placed a dozen beds within so that it would become a communal sleeping quarters. Then started wiring things together, and next thing you know, I may have gone too far in a few places. These people went to sleep before this was all placed, and so they use BV for safety, so too does he taketh away their safety. I mean, all these things, you know, they're amusing, but they're not really what's going to make this settlement perfect. I do enjoy making spiraling staircases into the sky, from which an NPC falls onto the conveyor belt, which will then move them into the pool at the center of the map where all the radioactive barrels are sitting, polluting the waters and giving the people who approach massive radiation damage. I'm amused by this, but I have something else planned. See, if I set up the scavenging station in front of a laser with a flamethrower pointing at these fragmentation mines and Preston trips it, the flamethrower will damage the frag mines and he gets blown up. Now, this is extremely exciting to me, and I will now be fully committing to the idea of a giant contraption that will completely obliterate my settlers in a massive explosion. But to gather the required ordnance to make all my dreams come true, I will not only be using frag mines, but also actual nuclear weapons. I'll be stealing from the USAF satellite station Olivia, using exclusively my godly stealth skills. Only joking. There it is, the nuke thing. The nuke thing is very important, because we are using a mod called Destructible Mini Nukes. This is very good. Now I just need more of these to create the perfect settlement prank. And instead of going through the pain of duplicating these, I will simply buy them. But to buy them, I'll need money. Obviously, when you're playing Todd Howard's Nuclear Hellscape, there are all kinds of methods to do this. In my case, I go into the basement at Sanctuary Hills, grab the 3 gold bars laying on the ground, take them back to Starlight Drive In, and by the power of Bethesda coding, I double this resource by smashing buttons together and confusing the game. I've explained this before in previous videos, but basically if you drop a material on the ground and hit the store and scrap buttons at the same time, it will open 2 windows. If you then scrap and store these materials at the same time, the game doesn't check if you've done one or the other first and doubles the resource. I do this until I have 3,840 gold. Then I travel to Drumlin Diner where I swiftly resolve their chem dealer problems with my charisma, and I start a sale loop with What's-A-Face and some other vendors simultaneously purchasing frag mines and nukes until I have 19 mini nukes and 56 frag mines. And now the excitement is getting to me and Glorbsnobbler, and I have decided to do a quick test run. After all, it's only moral for me to conduct scientific testing on wastelanders before I roll them out to my settlement. It's not powerful enough. I must now create the most satisfying settlement contraption I will ever make. The science is concluded. I removed the conveyor belt from beneath the trapdoor. It was amusing but not perfect, and I'm here for perfection. I must lay a foundation for perfection, but I cannot so long as this man lays wounded on the floor with both his knees blown out, unable to walk. I shove him with my healing hands, and he is no longer crippled. Huzzah, a miracle. I cannibalize parts of the settlement that were inferior and start that which will be superior. A concrete box prison full of surprises. I kick the crippled guy. I even decorate the prison with pretty words so that it will become more appealing. Words like goodbye, see ya, safe travels, jet good, microwave, zlob, floorbean was here, and canonical spelling of mute fruit, pressed on these nuts. Got him. I place these ornate coffee tables, do things with cables and stuff. So many cables. Place the mines, the little clay dinner plates upon which my kingdom is made, and the nuclear weapons, the very same that completely obliterated the world as we know it. We'll just dump that on the floor right here. So how it works is this. Someone is going to wander up the stairs in a stumbling, spazzed out on jet Mama Murphy-like fashion, compelled by the spiritual powers of game coding to this scavenging station right here. But oh lord, there's a trapdoor. This leads down into here, which is lit up with so many laser tripwires that once triggered, the flamethrowers will flammenwerf the explosives, the unbridled nuclear power of which may be enough to put a hole in the world. But is this a man who looks like he cares? Does it look like wants anything less than total satisfaction through entertainment. This is what a man given ultimate power over building does. Naturally, I've chosen Preston to be my harbinger of destructive power. He's a lucky fella. He ascends the contraption, accepting that his destiny is to be dissolved into a very fine mist, to become a memory frazzled by the absurd amount of radiation our brains are soon to be exposed to. Godspeed, Preston. I'm so entertained right now. Thanks to the patrons for helping make this video happen. You are the atoms that obliterated Preston when he fell down the trapdoor. Thank you very much for your support. And thank you everyone for your patience. This is only a short video this week because at the time I made this I was getting ready to go on holiday. And if this hasn't been out for ages, it's because I missed the deadline for going overseas and now it's being released like way later. But anyway, please like and share, leave a comment saying BOOF, and most importantly, stay safe. I love you.
Need something?